Good morning, one and all present here. Honorable Chairman Sir is absent. Managing Director Sir. Our special guest of today's gathering, that is Dr. Mallikarjuna Sir, and PU College Principal Prakash Sir. I wholeheartedly, on behalf of staff, management and students, I welcome one and all. And the purpose why we have gathered here is, today is a very auspicious day for us, for the family of Sri Venkateshwara, because we are observing Saraswati Puja. Saraswati, the goddesses of wisdom, should bless all the students, those who are going to appear for SSLC exam this year, and you have to fare well in your upcoming examination. Children, for that sake, you need lot of dedication, and you have to plan out well, and you have to perform your exams well. So today we have Dr. Mallikarjuna Sir from Deccan Rod, who is here to motivate you how to face the so-called examination. Examination is also said to be a celebration. Isn't it? Celebration, any function, anything means we prepare well. Am I right? So similarly, what are the ways and means without any fear, with self-confidence, how to face your examination to motivate every one of you? Here we have Dr. Mallikarjuna Sir. So I welcome Sir once again, and Sir will lead today, and Sir will motivate. I want each and every one of you to utilize this valuable time. Thank you, one and all.
Good morning, students. Well, first, as Madam said, it's an auspicious day for all of us, right? As the month of February and March begins, so exams starts. It's a festival time for all of us. It all depends on how we do take it. If you take it as a festival, it is a festival. If you take it as a pleasure, it's definitely a pleasure. Otherwise, it would be a pressure. Right. I thank our chairman sir for giving this opportunity to see that all our students are going to get benefit from today's distinguished speaker, a very motivational speaker, Dr. Mallikarjuna sir. I welcome Mallikarjuna sir on behalf of all of you people, and I want a big round of applause to Mallikarjuna. Sir has been with us associated for almost 8 years, sir. From 8 years, sir is coming. But you people will not know what is going on inside the business, because he comes to second PUC students every year. He motivates the students because they are all going to face the examination. He is completely with Deccan Rod to talk to the students of PUC, of degree, or school, everywhere, and to motivate the students during the time of examination. And one thing, you are all lucky that you have such a wonderful speaker to you, and all of you have very good capacities. This is what I keep saying to you. You all have capacities. Today, sir is going to give you in detail picture about people who were nothing, and today they are all great personalities. Just I was observing a lecture of our Honorable Prime Minister Modi, who was speaking at US related to artificial intelligence and how it's going to take the security, development of the people, into cross-border relationships, everything. Wonderful speech. Do you feel he has gone to a very big university? He has studied abroad, and he speaks so well, so fluent English, and all the people across different countries, they were all mesmerized to listen to him. He listened to him, wonderful. See, a person who was selling tea, Many of them feel that a small person was telling me what can we lead the nation. Differently, think about 2014 and 2025 where we are. Now everybody give big respect to our Indians. Right? So, sir is also, Mallikarjuna sir is also in charge of various states across Bangalore South District, which I did not know. A lot of places, nearly about 20 mandals will be coming under him. He is also in charge of some big responsibility over there. So, in fact, you are all lucky. I do not want to take much time. I want to see that Mallikarjuna sir is going to address the people and you all get motivated. The same thing, our purpose is definitely. I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, once again, and I will give the stage to you so you can go ahead. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Am I in the frame? Guys, let me start where your sir stopped. If a chaiwala can become a prime minister, ask yourself, what can you become? When I actually speak about what is the greatest gift that God has given all of us is, when you look at ourselves, Manushya Janma itself is the greatest gift that God has given. When we look at our incarnation to be born as human, every generation after generation, it is not always so. After so many million janmas, you are being gifted to be born as human. If God has chosen each and every one of you to be a human, that is the greatest selection that He has done. Always remember, God has selected you because He believed right now you can make a difference to this world. There was a time we wanted somebody to address the entire world and say, we Indians are spiritual, and there comes Swami Vivekananda to address and say, my beloved brothers and sisters of America. Who was he? He was also a village boy. From a village boy during those times when we were invaded by people, to going to Chicago and then speaking there and throwing colors about what India is, what Indianism is. It's a beautiful turnover. All of you are blessed. How many of you living here, because your parents are very, very poor, they push you to go out and work and come, or sell a tea and come, because you don't have money. So your parents have pushed you, go sell some tea, whatever the money comes, you buy something, we will have either the breakfast, either the lunch, or either the dinner. None of you are in this kind of a situation. God has already placed you in a better place. But there was one chaiwala, if they did not sell the tea, they wouldn't have enough money, and that man from a chaiwala becomes what is called as the prime minister. For all you ladies, you are living in a city. It's a blessed garden city, it is the best IT city of the world, and you are the lucky ones. There was one woman who lived deep in the forest. She was actually termed people who lived there as tribal. A tribal woman who lived deep in the forest, in the jungle, along with wild animals as though they were pet animals. From there, she becomes the President of India, the present President of India, Droupadi Murmu. You should ask yourself this question. God has already blessed me. I am not a tribal woman, but let me ask myself this question. Where can I go? All of you have this inhibition. What? If I need to be an engineer, my father should be an engineer. If I need to be a doctor, my father or my uncle or somebody should be a doctor. If I need to be a scientist, somebody deep inside in my relationship, they should be a doctor or a scientist or an engineer. Then I can qualify myself to become that. The same words were spoken to this fisherman's son, and they told, you are a fisherman's son, you are born to be a fisherman and you are going to die as a fisherman. Why do you want to study? You live in a fisherman's house and you will die as a fisherman. In the same fisherman's house, why do you want to study? And this boy says, nothing doing. I have been born because I have a purpose in life. My purpose is not to become a fisherman. And he decides, and that boy becomes Abdul Kalam, the greatest scientist. You and me sitting here should ask this question. ದೇವರು ನನಗೆ ಇರೋವರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠವಾದ ಜನ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಜನ್ಮ. If he has chosen me to be a human, I think I should live this human life so in with conviction that when I die, God should feel proud and he should say, what a human janma I was given you and you have lived a fruitful life. If God doesn't feel that, that means you have not lived a human life, you have lived an animalistic life. Animals also live. Animals also eat. Animals also breed. Animals also make children. They all reproduce. Yes, normal. They sleep, they get up. But before you could sleep every day, ask yourself this question: what is that I did something different today so that I can feel proud about today's day? Before going to bed, introspect and ask this question to you: what did I do something different today so that I can feel proud that I live today like a human, not like an animal? Eating, drinking, sleeping, these are done by animals in zoo also, animals in forest also. The only difference between them and us is we will have to do something different. That is the reason this gift of human janma is given to you. Always remember, if a chaiwala has become a prime minister, if this tribal woman has become a president, if this fisherman's son has become the greatest scientist, it was not his parents or his brothers and sisters responsible for their success. They themselves were responsible. Right now, each of you sitting here, if you decide this is what I want to, again I am telling you, for that success to happen, nobody else will be responsible. You alone will be responsible. Nobody will be a dose to you. You alone will be a dose to you. And nobody can be a dushman to you. You alone can become a dushman to you. There is a beautiful saying. We always say, dushman kahan hai? What is the answer? We say, dushman bagal mein hai. Dushman bagal mein nahi hai. Dushman andar hai. When the alarm rings at 4 o'clock, if you don't make up to get up, no dushman from your neighbor or your mother or your father is responsible. You are responsible for the choice what you did because you did not get up. Even today, Modi doesn't sleep for more than 3 hours. If that man has decided every hour and every minute of mine should be dedicated to the growth of India, and he decides I want to do it, and who is helping him? Nobody else, he himself, because he has to get up. Who can stop Prime Minister if he says, I want to take a rest for next 2 days? The entire world will say, it's okay. Nobody can dare to say no. But he decides, I want to dedicate every minute of my living, I want to dedicate every second of my living for the sake of the growth of India. And with that conviction when you leave, automatically God himself also will come and help you. God will help only those who help themselves. All of us will come to your help. Your chairman, your secretary, your principal, your lecturers, all of us can come to your help only if you are ready to help yourselves. Because today I want to ignite that you are not ordinary people. You are extraordinary people. You are that masterpiece. You are that masterpiece. You are the rarest of the rare. There was a time when Vivekananda was required and he was born. There was a time when Mother Teresa was required and she was born. And there was a time when Gandhiji was required and he was born. And now is the time for you to be there and you are born. But you should ask yourself this question: what is the purpose of my life? I don't want to live an ordinary life and die an ordinary life. The greatest gift what God has given all of us is, all of us are born equal. You call Tendulkar and say, not Tendulkar because he will not know. You call Tendulkar's mother. Amma Tendulkar aache barvaga bat sameta banna. No, all of us are born equal. Modi ji was born equal. Dhirubhai Ambani was born equal. Steve Jobs was born equal. Bill Gates was born equal. But when you die, your death will not be equal. That will be decided on what choices you make. Let us understand life in a concept of B, C, D. Can all of you repeat? B, C, D. Once again, B, C, D. B is the beginning. Right now, the first turning point of your life is your 10th standard exam. But for the 10th standard exam, few of you are in 8th standard, your beginning has already happened. Few of you are in 9th standard, your beginning and half of the journey is already happened. Few of you are in 10th standard, in few days, you are going to face the most important turning point of your life, and that is your exam. And for that turning point to become right, what choices you are ready to do right from now is your selection. The beginning has already happened, the destination you are fixed this percentage, and the choices what you make will decide what destination to be given to you. There is a beautiful saying, where there is a will, there is a way. Can you repeat it 3 times? Where there is a will, there is a way. Once again, where there is a will, there is a way. Once again, where there is a will, there is a way. No, there is always a way. Do you have the will? Do you have the will? I've seen the posters and banners of Venkateshwara High School. There are students who have scored 10% even in languages. There are students, ex-students from the same school who have scored 10% in all the subjects. Now, you should ask this question, do I have the will that I want to score 100? A chaiwala has already become a prime minister. You are no more a chaiwala. You are already in a better place. What big can you become? Much bigger. It is science. If this man can become this, you are already there. You are very close to the destination. Much closer than where that guy started. Ask yourself, what am I capable of? In the same college, with the same teachers, with the same principal, with the same chairs, with the same board, there are students who have scored 10% in maths. Do you have the target of 10%? Why? There is always a way. Do you have the will? In maths, 10% has come. There is always a way how you can score 100. Do you have the will? And again, in social science also, students from the same school have got 99 and 100 and more in number year after year. Now, do you have the will? Sitting here, ask yourself, yes, I have the will. When you say I have the will, it is no conditions apply. I have the will, but conditions apply. That will not work. Always remember, there are 2 wombs. Repeat after me. There are 2 wombs. One is willingness womb and one more is non-willingness womb. Repeat after me. One is willingness womb and the other one is non-willingness womb. What is willingness womb? In my mind, I have decided I want to do it. That is a willingness womb. From the willingness womb, you will get solutions. I want 100%. I want 10%. I have a willingness, I have already decided, now I will look for solution. Where am I right now? 90. Where should I reach? 100. So, what solutions can I look so that it will take me to 100? Will the teacher help me? Will I learn to help myself? Or will the principal help me? You will automatically get solution because you have already decided that I want 10%. But if you have not decided I want 10%, I am happy with 80%, then what will you do? You will seek for excuses. What is excuses? Excuses is a truth in a wrong place. Why did you score less in 10? I had fever. Fine. But there are students who met with an accident on the examination day or 1 week before the examination day. They have still come and they have written and they have got 10%. For them, the reason was much more true and really true, but still they made it up because they were looking for solution. They did not look for excuse. Excuse is the truth in a wrong place. You have excuse for everything in life. Right now, between you and the exam, no distraction should come. Minimum of 18 to 20 hours of studies you must do. You can't do this rigorous studies at the last moment of your exam. It doesn't work. All the rigorous studies will have to go right now, and during the last moment of your exam, it has to be only revision. It has to be only revision. That is how your planning has to happen. This is where we are going to take today's class. First, I wanted to create this motivation in you, create this want in you. Yes, I want 7%. How many of you sitting here, deep inside feel how nice it would be if at least in 4-5 subjects I get 10%. That's the beauty of it. It is possible. Let me tell you this beautiful statement. There is nothing that is not possible without thy will. But thy will not actually bless you if you are not ready. Because B, C, D, beginning has happened, destination of 10% is fixed, but choices if you are not making right, E also cannot help. How can E help? 4 o'clock alarm from tomorrow, it rings. Because you have decided today after Malik's class, there is no looking back. From tomorrow I am going to get up at 4, nothing less but exactly at 4. The alarm rings. And he will come as Krishna, a neutral person, and he will alert you. The alarm is ringing. The same alarm also is ringing for Modi. The same alarm is also ringing for Droupadi Murmu. The same alarm also rang for Abdul Kalam. The same alarm also actually hit to many of the so many successful people, and everybody said when the alarm hits in the morning, my success today is only because the moment the alarm rings, I was out of the bed. But can you be out of the bed? Ask yourself this question. If you can be out of the bed, he will support you. What will Krishna do? Krishna alerts you that the alarm is ringing. Are you not awake? Yes, you are already awake. But get up is happening? No. Between awake and get up, there is Kurukshetra that happens in your mind. The positive mind is Arjuna and the negative mind is Duryodhana. As soon as the alarm rings, Krishna is a neutral entity. He just says, the alarm has rang, why don't you start? Krishna always will be on positive side. But choice has to be made by you. A chaiwala made multiple such choices which was painful, very very painful and very very stressful and very very problematic, but still because of the choices he dared to make every time when life threw him a challenge, today he is a chaiwala. No, today he is a prime minister. But there are a lot of chaiwalas where the same life threw him opportunities and challenges, opportunities and challenges, opportunities and challenges. He told, I don't want to take challenges, I don't want to take risks, I don't want to take stress, I don't want to take problems, I want an easy-going life, a convenience life. So he lives as a chaiwala and he dies as a chaiwala. But if you dare to take up the choices, which is painful, because there is a beautiful saying, where there is no pain, there is no gain. Repeat after me. Where there is no pain, there is no gain. Before you go to bed, close your eyes, introspect your entire day and ask yourself this question, did I take a pain today? Yes, tap yourself. No, hit yourself because you have lived a life out of convenience, not out of conviction. A life out of convenience will make a tribal woman die as a tribal woman only. Tribal girl may become tribal woman may become a tribal grandma, adult and old age, and she will die as a tribal woman only. But when you are ready to volunteer pain consistently, there will always be a gift of what you achieve. And also, beauty is this. God plays this beautiful trick. Anything that is painful initially will be pleasurable permanently in the future. And anything that is pleasurable right now will be permanently painful in your life forever. Right now, there are few students here who have already decided, come what 4 o'clock, sir. From tomorrow we will get up at 3:30. Because I know early in the morning, before the sun rises and after the sun rises, and before the sun rises at least 1 or 2 hours is called as Brahmi Muhurta. That is the highest energy level of the entire atmosphere in the entire 24 hours. At that moment, with little efforts, I can achieve among these things. Most of these things can be achieved with very little efforts. Most difficult things can be achieved with very little efforts. So let me use that sacred time to do the most important job of my life. Right now, what is the most important job of your life? My studies, my 10th standard result. Because what you scored in 1st standard, 2nd standard, 3rd standard, 8th standard, 9th standard will never be carried along with you. But 10th standard you will carry it for your lifetime. If you volunteer at 4 o'clock, pain, got up early in the morning at Brahmi Muhurta, did a little bit of pranayam and sat for studies, and you religiously studied for the entire academic year, for those who are 8th and 9th to face the 10th which is coming 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, you may have taken pain. Yes, the pain has come because getting up early in the morning is not a pleasurable experience. It is painful. But over a period of time, when pain is taken consistently, be least assured, you will have a permanent pleasure you will enjoy for your lifetime. Your 10th standard marks is always enjoyed for your lifetime. I remember, I keep telling my 10th standard marks. Your teachers keep telling their 10th standard marks. Your principal keeps telling their 10th standard marks. Why? That is the first turning point of your life. And that beginning, if it happens perfectly, your life will anchor so beautifully, just like a jet, it will go and your target can be reached. The belief that you hold at the beginning of the journey defines the journey, and that beginning first exam is going to be your 10th standard exam. So your preparation will make a big difference. Start working from today. Very, very important. And every day it has to be with conviction. So let us see few things and try to handle what is not right in your case. See, most of the time what happens, whenever we are actually thinking of study stress, why exactly do you have study stress? We are sure that you will agree learning something in general and studying for a seminar, viva, presentation or exam are two very different things. Right now you are listening to me, I say after this listening you will continue with your classes, you will be very, very comfortable. But the moment I say after this 1.5 hours of session, I will be giving you a seminar which 1 or 2 will have to come and present. We will have a viva on the topic that I have covered. You should give a presentation, or we will have a simple objective type test at the end of the entire session. What happens? You start feeling uncomfortable. Why? The very thought of exam, viva, presentation, seminar might create a tense, stress or a fear. All three are the same emotions. You are uncomfortable, that's all. But is this stress, or if I am talking about anxiety, if I am talking about fear, is it necessity? Yes, it is necessity. Why? Fear is an indication, anxiety is an indication, stress is an indication that you are trying to do something which you have not done earlier. It's a simple warning. You are trying to do something which you have not done earlier. So how will I overcome that stress? So when you keep doing that multiple times, slowly the stress will run away. The very reason why they keep one pre-preparatory and then preparatory and then the final exam by the education department is because they know the moment you become a part of a pre-preparatory, you are getting an exposure of the real exam in the pre-preparatory exam. You will be stressed. But in that stress, you are able to handle it so beautifully that after that you will start feeling, initially I was stressed, now I feel confident. Then the school will announce one more preparatory. And again one more preparatory is done, and the preparatory and pre-preparatory will be more tougher because they wanted you to have the real exam going very smooth. Sometimes in the pre-preparatory or the preparatory, even if you have scored 90, you go up to the teacher crying and say, this is not the score what I was expecting, ma'am. I was expecting 98, 99 or 100. I am not happy with 90. What does the teacher say? The teacher says, this is most strict paper and the evaluation also is done more strictly. So, in this, if you have even scored 90, it is equivalent to scoring 94, 98. This builds up confidence. That is why we use this stress busters or fear management. Fear management is give them an exposure of what they are doing so that they gain experience, and the moment you gain 2 preparatory experience, definitely your final exam will become very, very easy. But because of the time constraint, most of them end up giving 1 preparatory. This was a beautiful question asked. I think all of you know we are very proud about our Paris Olympics which happened last year. When all the medal winners and the participants were called and there was a press meet, a question was asked, were you actually uncomfortable or stressed or fearful while you were actually playing in the real Olympics? All of them unanimously told no. Media always want something which is negative. They were expecting them to say, yes, we really felt a lot of difficulties, we were not given the right kind of practice. As soon as we came here, the ambience was different, the environment was different, we were totally lost. These were the questions that were asked, but your principal knew, your teachers knew, they had already prepared you very well for this. So they told, no, we did not feel any kind of a stress or a pressure. Then what happened? We felt more comfortable here because they had created the same environment there and given us more difficult way of how you could target if at all here life becomes difficult. So that way we enjoyed doing here and we really struggled doing there. So that is the beauty of the practice. And they made us do multiple times. Most of the time, your stress releaser is how many times are you ready to do? Because your end time and his end time is not the same. Because you are not duplicates. You are the rarest of the rare. There was nobody like you in the past millions of years that has crossed. In the future, infinite of time to come, there will never be anybody like you. And right now, there is nobody like you. You are the rarest of the rare. God does not like creating duplicates. Duplicates or Xeroxes are created by us. You are a unique piece. You are that masterpiece. You are that masterpiece. So, all of us will be different. So, a particular lesson, you may understand reading it once. But the same lesson, he has to read it 4th time. So reading 3 times, you should not consider, no, my failure room. No. Let me share this beautiful story. There was this man from Udupi, his name was Raju, a B.Tech engineer. He had got an interview from Infosys. He had made a promise, until and unless I get through the interview and get an offer letter, I will not have anything. That was a commitment what he did it to himself, and he came for an interview which was early in the morning at 7 o'clock. There were 3-4 rounds of interview. By 11 o'clock all the interviews went through. Because he was a smart man, he got a job. Now as his decision, he told, I will have the breakfast. He was looking for a Udupi hotel because he was from Udupi and he wanted to have the Udupi hotel's best idli vadas. So as he was passing by, there was one hotel and there was a huge rush. Seeing that huge rush, he identified that, yes, this should be the best hotel. He goes up to the hotel. There was a huge rush and the owner was sitting at the counter. He goes up to the owner and says, sir, do you have the best vadas because I love vadas? He says, yes sir, our vadas are the best. He says, sir, does your vada taste good? Yes sir, our vada tastes the best in Bangalore, sir. And one more question, sir, does your vada satisfy my hunger? He says, yes. My vada can satisfy anybody's hunger. You go and sit, sir. He sits and the owner says 1 plate vada. And this man he gets a vada, a small vada, and 2 balls, one of chutney, one more of sambar. All of a sudden he calls the owner, sir, do you charge extra for this chutney and sambar? No, sir. That is unlimited, sir. We charge only for the vada. What is the cost of the vada? He says, sir, it is only 40 rupees. Okay. Sir, again, you told both the conditions will meet. Otherwise, I am not going to pay. Sir, all the conditions will meet. You wanted to know whether it is going to be tasty and say it will be very, very tasty. Second, will it satisfy your hunger? Definitely, sir. It will satisfy everybody's hunger. He finished one vada, he looked at the owner and told, stomach not full, but very, very tasty. Done. And again, owner was having one plate vada food. One more plate vada was served. He eats that one plate of vada and immediately looks at the owner and says, very tasty, but stomach not full. Then third vada comes, fourth vada comes, fifth vada comes, sixth vada comes. Seventh, we call it a sapta. Sapta vada concept is this personality development story. So, when the seventh vada is served, the supplier comes to the owner and says, you are eating the ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾಸು ನಮ್ದಲ್ಲ ಆದರೂ ಅವನ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಅವ್ನು ತಿರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. The teacher knows your capacity ಇಷ್ಟೇ. Right now, when he learns it for the seventh time, when he writes it for the seventh time, he will perfectly get it and his mind will be full and he will have this lesson in him. But here, after eating the sixth vada, he is getting ready for the seventh vada. The seventh vada, as it comes, he breaks it into 4 pieces. He picks up one piece, dips in sambar, dips in chutney, and he eats. Now, because all the rest of the vada was still here, he could not eat anything more. So he is completely satisfied. He immediately goes to the counter and he says, sir, this vada, it satisfied my hunger and it also satisfied the taste. Tasty, hunger also satisfied. Now he goes there, he gives 40 rupees and he is trying to move. As soon as he gives 40 rupees and he is trying to move, the owner catches hold of him and says, it's not 40. It is 40 into 7 to 8. We will stop the discussion there. That man says, Sir Satyamata, what did I say? If your vada satisfy my hunger, only then I will pay. If I read first time, if I don't understand, I will not read it again second time. No, it doesn't work like that. For you, it may be different. For her, it may be different. You don't know what is that seventh attempt is. And for the teachers who are sitting here also, you also don't know for one particular student, one particular lesson, maybe he is expecting a second or a third revision. Because all of us are not alike. So, you should be able to handle them in a homogeneous environment? Definitely no. But you are in an homogeneous environment, but you are handling heterogeneous people, heterogeneous students. The challenge is there. Some of the schools you take 90 and push them to 95 anybody, and it's quite easy. Anybody who is taken of 95 and pushing them to 100 is quite easy. Picking up from 10%, 20%, 30% students along with them, 50%, 70%, 80% students and pushing them there, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and ask yourself as a teacher, which was that seventh vada that I could deliver it to him so that she understands this lesson perfectly. Or you should also know how many times if I write it is going to work for me, and that choice has to be decided by you. Again I am telling you, God cannot make choices on your behalf. You can request him, oh God, I am trying to write one more time. This time let me understand it perfectly. God, you can pray, but choice of doing has to be yours, because the destination will be decided on the choices what you do. So, how do we actually cope up with this examination stress? That is the whole idea of this today's session. How do I cope up with studies? So, the key to handling study stress is to understand the process and do what needs to be done regularly. That is what we are going to do today. So, what exactly causes this study stress? See, when things are not completed as and when it comes, and you keep a baggage of it and keep on procrastinating, that is where the problem arises. If you can hold on to that and try to do that day's work that day only, you will never feel uncomfortable. Let me explain this beautiful way so that you understand. All of us, those who are 8th standard student, when you saw your 7th standard result, and 9th standard student when you saw your 8th standard result, and 10th standard student when you saw your 9th standard result, or we teachers when we saw any of our academic results, something deep inside looking at the result told, this is not my results. I could have done far more better than this. Your mind is talking to you. Arjuna is talking to you and saying, Malik, you could have done much, much more better than this. If you would have studied hard, if you would have studied smart, if you would have put the right kind of hard work, and if you had done everything the teacher would have done, and if you had not wasted any of the time, then automatically your score would have gone there. This indication comes to us and we decide and a plan is organized as we are looking at the result. Because all of us are born winners. We are not losers. We want to be winners and we are born winners. We are made to win. Our entire birth itself is that winning attire. Instead of being born as any such microorganism, instead of being born as any such animal or an insect or a worm, you are born as a human. That means you are the rarest of the rarest, small, smart, unique beast. And you have been selected to become a human among so many millions of species. That itself says you are the selected one. So when we see the result, something deep inside says, it none result alla. Nan really kashtapat odidre, I would have seen my results there. But right now when you are seeing that result planning is going on, next academic year, come what may, nan ee tara ododilla. Nan haadina kelsa haadina mugisbiಡ್ತೀನಿ. You make a plan. All of you have made this plan. I have also made this plan. Next academic year, first day of school, when I go, whatever is the first period, whatever the teacher will do, between the first period and second period, I'll finish off the revision and notes preparing. And between the second and third, I'll finish off the revision of the second period. Between third and fourth, the third period. And break, I don't need 1 hour. What will I do? Instead of 1 hour, I will take a break and finish off my lunch in 10-15 minutes. The rest 45 minutes from first period to the fourth period, whatever was done before the lunch hours, I will do of the revision so that I am ready for the next day. Even if the teacher announces me a test, I will not be worried. Why? I have already done the notes, I have already read once or twice. Planning has happened. And the same thing I will do after the lunch 3 or 4 periods. I know this year I wasted my time not coming from school straight to home. I used to roam around, waste time, take my own time and then come. Now it is not going to be like that. As soon as the school leaves, I will straight away come to home. I'll start preparing for the next day's class. I'll go do a revision of entire today's session and I'll get ready for the next day's class. Without wasting any time, I'll study till 6:30, have a cup of coffee, take a small 15 minutes break and continue again to study till 9 or 10 o'clock, and this is going to be my routine. And next day, wake up at 4 o'clock. Malik sir has told, waking up at 4 o'clock will give me a lot of time so that I can invest a lot of time for studies. This plan has organized. First day you come to school. As you are sitting in the class, the first period is over and the teacher says, first day I don't want to take the full hours. I'll give you 50 minutes, whatever the 50% free time, because it is the first day. She does a very important lesson. She finishes first module and she says, you are free to do whatever you want to do. So what should you do? What was your commitment? That I am going to start studying immediately after the teacher gives me free time. I pick up a pen, I pick up a book, and you are about to start writing. What happens? When you are about to start to write, some trouble happens. Trouble. And you say, instead of this class, and everybody is looking at you, oh, you started off to study? You should say, yes, and you should continue. What you will say? No. And you say, instead of this class, I will study in the next class. You do the first procrastination. Procrastination means postponing things. Instead of this class, I will study next class. The next class comes maths teacher, she did it for half an hour and 15 minutes free. Now you are about to write and you say, next class 100% I will do. Every time there is a starting point, when you are about to start working, you procrastinate and fix up one more starting. But when you start there, no, again trouble. And because you have postponed it, next class, you start feeling that you are a failure, you are a miserable person, I keep on procrastinating. So what you do? Next class is not working. Once for all in the afternoon, I will do it off. You push it to afternoon. Afternoon after the lunch you are supposed to do. Then you say, I'll do like this. Once for all in the evening when I go home, I'll finish up the entire day's work. You push it to evening. So every time a starting point is created, or you starting, no, it gets into trouble. You procrastinate and fix a new starting point. Next period became afternoon becomes evening, you start evening and you say, somehow today it has not worked. From tomorrow, I will 100% start working. You push it to tomorrow. But when the tomorrow comes, will you start? No. You will say, again tomorrow. But when the tomorrow has not worked, slowly you start realizing, tomorrow is not working. Next Monday, I will seriously start studying and you push it to next Monday. And next Monday will be pushed to next Monday and again you saw, Monday is not working. Next month, first onwards, I will seriously start studying. You are doing necessary things. I am not saying you are not doing necessary things. I am talking about when you saw your percentage, you wanted to see yourself not at 80%, you wanted to see at 95%. For you to achieve that 95%, that extra hard work what you had committed, you are not capable of doing that extra work because you got into starting trouble, you are procrastinating and you have started living with that problem. First day you will be comfortable because the baggage of what you will have to study was only few hours of what your teacher has done. After second day, the baggage becomes twice. After third day, it becomes thrice. After the fourth day, 4 times. After a week, it becomes a big baggage. After 15 days, it becomes still more big baggage. And this continues and continues. Monday will become next Monday will become next month first will become that next month first. When the next month first comes, testers also come. What was your dream? Your dream was 95%. You score 85, which you usually score. And something deep inside tells, I think 95 won't be possible. I think 90 I can hit because only first test is over now. 90 I will get and you decide from tomorrow I will again seriously start studying. Again you will get into the cycle. Starting trouble, procrastinating. Your academic year has started. Few of you pushed and you told for let Yugadi come and will seriously start. You are also okay. You push. Let Deepavali come and will seriously start. By that midterm exam came. When this midterm exam came, your 85% you have achieved. But your target of 95 was not achievable because you are studying as you were studying last year. When you are studying as you are studying last year, how can you get different results? To get different results, you will have to study smartly and quite differently. I cannot sit under an apple tree and say, mangoes fall. That is stupidity. That's not called as smartness. I do what I did last academic year, but I am expecting 15% extra result. How is it possible? You are sitting under the same tree where apples fell because it was an apple tree. Now if you want mangoes a better percentage, change the place, change the attire, use more time and that has to be given. But still what happens, you keep on postponing, midterm exam results came, you only scored 85. Then slowly what happens, because of the stress is nothing but the gap between when you should have studied and ultimately when did you study. If you would have studied then and there itself, there wouldn't be any stress at all. But instead when you procrastinate and you study later, the entire time you would be dealing with the problem which leads to stress. And slowly, this stress will lead to giving up attitude. What is giving up attitude? You finally decide, I think 85 won't work. 90 will not work. I may get 85 only. You fix as 85 only, but your target of looking at the result was 95, but you again brought it down to 85. Why? You were not ready to do the smart reading. If you don't, if the choices are not changed, destination will not change. If I want mangoes to fall, I should get into a mango group, sit under a mango tree, and definitely because of the rain or because of the sun and because of the wind, some mangoes will definitely fall. Ask yourself, are you sitting under an apple tree expecting mangoes, or are you sitting under a mango tree expecting apples? And ask yourself, which is your health vada? When is that you are going to get perfectly whatever you need? of examples where parents say, my son studies from morning till evening, but he scores much lesser than my neighbor who only studies for few hours, but he gets much more marks than me. That means that guy is actually following smart reading. We will look into this smart reading also. Now you have understood this. What is the first problem which creates this study stress? The first one is start interval. Repeat it. Start interval 3 times. Start interval, start interval, start interval. If that starting is not started, that will lead to something called as procrastination. Repeat 3 times. Procrastination, procrastination, procrastination. If procrastination is not handled perfectly, that will lead to living with the problem. What is that living with the problem? Every time create a starting point, go there, procrastinate and create one more starting point. Again, go to the starting point, procrastinate and create one more starting point. That is called as living with the problem. 3 times, living with the problem, living with the problem, living with the problem. That leads to what is called as stress. Stress, stress, stress. What exactly is stress? Stress is nothing but the gap between when it should have been done and ultimately when it was done. So all of you repeat after me. My entire stress in life is the gap between when it could have been done and eventually when wasn't done. This has to be strictly followed. If today something is given to you, go today and finish it off, because the objective of asking you to do today is it will help you in the exam. That is what we call it a smart move. Most of the time you would be doing such a stupid move and you will be wasting a lot of precious time. I'll take up a simple example. Today in science, one of your teachers did the most difficult lesson of the entire academic year, 10th standard. She told at the beginning, she told at the end. And then she told, if at all you want to master this lesson, because it carries 10 marks, and definitely from this lesson 10 marks would be given, and some questions of totally to 10 marks will be there in the exam. So what she told, you will have to go home today, practice this, write 3 times this assignment of 10 pages and submit it to me next Friday. Assignment is given. Why did your teacher give you the assignment? So that writing it 3 times will help you to memorize it properly, and writing it today only will help you to recollect what ma'am has told and then perfectly put it across. Yes or no? But instead what do? You go and you are about to start writing the assignment because you knew this assignment has to be completed as early as possible so that I don't forget whatever my teacher has told me. But when you take up the pen and paper, something comes up. Again, it is an excuse. Excuse in a wrong place. Maybe power goes. Even if the power goes, bring a candle and you will have to complete it because it needs to be completed. But instead what you do? Again starting trouble. When you are about to write, you push it to tomorrow and you will say, anyway I have 1 week. I am not saying I am not going to write, but I will write and write it tomorrow. And when the tomorrow comes, I will write it tomorrow. When the tomorrow comes, I will write it tomorrow. And Thursday evening comes, I will write it tomorrow. There is no chance. When tomorrow is exam, I will study it tomorrow. There is no chance. Somehow that day you write it 3 times, but your objective has changed. When you would have written on the same day, your objective would have been, I would write it in order to master that so that it will help me in the exam. But when you write it on Thursday, you are only writing because tomorrow I don't want my teacher to scold me. Now when the objective changes and the purpose changes, you cannot expect that that writing will help you in the exam. Most of you are creating such blunders on a daily basis. Ask yourself, are you also doing one such mistake? You should stop doing such mistakes immediately. You should take a charge and tell, I would not do any such mistakes. Now what is the remedy? One of the best remedy is, there is a time for everything and everything in its time. Just basic time discipline has to be followed. There is a time for studies and that has to be studied then only. There is a time for math studies that has to be studied at that particular time only. So this is called as time discipline. When you have a beautiful time discipline, your life will go very smoothly. That's the reason in your schools and colleges there is no mess. Have you ever seen in your class two teachers running and coming, this is my class, this is my class? Never. There is a time for every class and that class will happen at that particular time only. No two teachers will walk in and say, this is my class, this is my class. Never it has happened. So, can you maintain that discipline? When a school starts, they declare when is the opening day, when is the closing day, when is the first exam, when is the second exam, when is the final exam. They say what lesson should be completed for the first test, what lesson should be completed for the second test, in how many hours it has to be completed. Every plan is given in advance and they exactly work according to that, and there they will find there is no flaws at all, everything goes smooth. But ask yourself, after the school leaves, are you in the timetable or are you outside the timetable? If you are in the timetable, your life will go smooth. A Chaiwala becomes a prime minister because he was in the timetable. A tribal woman becomes the president because she was in the timetable. A fisherman's son becomes what he becomes because he was in the timetable. Irrespective of whoever you are, you should fix a timetable for yourself, and it should be told there is a time for everything in its time only. So that logic has to be followed. There is a time for morning get up, there is a time of wake up, there is a time for study, there is a time for health, there is a time for family, for friends, and there is a time for entertainment. Yes, once in a while you need entertainment. That doesn't mean that every day you will watch until Hanumantu wins Big Boss. Who wasted time? You wasted time. Did Hanumantu waste? No. He's already busy preparing an house for himself with the money what he earned. If a Chaiwala would have actually watched every Big Bosses, if a Droupadi Murmu would have watched every movies, and if this fisherman's son would have watched every such entertainment, then today they wouldn't have been where they are. They are in whatever place they are because they did not invest time in the wrong place. Ask yourself this question, are you investing your time in the wrong place? This is the first discipline. And there is another discipline what we say, there is a place for everything, everything in its place. And this place discipline. You should have a discipline of time. Morning 4 o'clock I would wake up. Immediately from 4 o'clock to 4:10 I would freshen up myself. And from 4:15 to 6 o'clock I would religiously study. But from 4:15 to 6 o'clock let me create a timetable. I'll study the most difficult subjects first and then the easy subjects. That way when you plan, your life will go beautiful. Only that can push a Chaiwala to become a prime minister. Modi doesn't sleep unless he has read 1 or 2 books. And he always has a habit of early morning getting up, doing yoga and reading 1 or 2 books. The more knowledge that flows through you, the more different you are going to become, the more successful you are going to become. Your studies will not end at graduation. Your studies will end only after your life ends. Life has to be full of learning on a daily basis. If I am going to bed, if your teachers are going to bed, if you are going to bed, you should introspect and ask, what different did I do today for which I can be proud of? And that learning has to happen today only. If it has not happened, complete that and then sleep. That's very important. So let there be a place discipline. Most of our time is wasted in searching for misplaced things, misplaced objects. There is a place for everything. Everything should be in the same place. There should be a steady place. You should study in that place only. You should not keep shuffling. There is a time when you sit for studies. You should sit exactly at that time only, because the clock works like that and it gives positive energy. Wherever you want, whenever you want, if you study, the clock doesn't work. You will not be able to focus. You will simply study, nothing will get into your head. So very important. You should not study in the sleeping place, you should not study in the playing place, or you should not play in the study place, or you should not sleep in the study place. Nothing should be done irrespective of in one's other places. There is a place for everything and everything shall be done in the same place. Even your books, there should be a separate books for maths, separate books for science. For homework, there should be a separate book. For notebook, there should be a separate book. For important notes, there should be a separate book. Separate cue cards for everything that you practice. So that way when you follow, everything will go smooth. place discipline, what we call Vastu of life, is very, very important. Maintain this and it can make a big difference in your life. That is one. And next, there is a right way and wrong way to the discipline. Please don't give excuse. Do not do blame game. Because if your 10th standard result comes low, it is only because of you. If your 10th standard results comes high, again it is only because of you. We as teachers can only be helping you and supporting you. Your success will only depend on you, and your failure also will only depend on you. If you become a failure, the statement is, he was not a friend to himself. He was a dushman to himself. Why? He did not allow him to become what he wanted to become. He stopped him from taking painful choices. Who? You yourself. So what happens? You will fail. He is very successful. Who is responsible for him? He himself. He was a good friend of himself. He pushed himself to take up the right choices, though it was painful. That is what we say. You should not do manipulating, giving up, copying, nothing like that. There is a right way for everything, everything in the right way only. Can we repeat this three? There is a time for everything, and everything in its time only. There is a place for everything, and everything in its place only. There is a right way for everything, and everything in the right way only. See, why we call this right and wrong way is, there is a right way how you will have to prepare for the exam. And then let me share a beautiful story. You will be able to understand it better. I stay very close to Nimans. Nimans is one of the largest hospitals in South Asia, where they handle mental patients. It is little striking, negative word, but still let me directly call it mental patients. Mental patients means whose mind needs to be counseled, whose minds need to be trained, whose minds need to be tested, whose minds need to be worked. It is also one of the disease. We should not feel otherwise. All of us suffer this. Sometimes I also suffer depression, your teachers also suffer depression, your parents also suffer depression. It's common. So, I have my friend who is a very good counselor. Whenever he has an interesting appointment, he calls me. Why he calls me? He says, Malik, when you come and speak to them after I have given the counseling, they feel much better because I do it as a licensed counselor, you do as a personality development trainer. That's the only difference. So, he once told, today I am getting a patient. He calls them as a patient who's coming for a counseling. Parents are going to come with an 8-year-old daughter, and their concern is their 8-year-old daughter reads from morning till evening, but somehow she's not able to score good in the exam. On the other side, our own friends who don't study so much, they are able to score more. We are talking about our study skills. So, when the parents came, he generally asked, what is your study style? Now, I am asking all of you, what is your study style? Okay, can you guys tell what is your study style? Do you know there are 3 kinds of study styles? I'll be going to all these slides if time permits. We will go to the most important topic. One is, why do we forget? All of your problem is, you forget what you study. If you don't forget what you study, all of you will score 100 out of 100. Let me tell you what happens in the exam. When you get into an exam, they first give you the question paper. When the question paper is given, the first 10 minutes they ask you and tell you, you are not supposed to write anything until a bell rings and when you are given permission to write. That is for you to relax and understand the question paper. When you open the question paper, when I also did the same, I read the first question, immediately my mind says, this question is from second chapter. I read the second question, this is from the last chapter. I read the third question, this is from the fourth chapter. I read the fifth question. This notes I have written in the second book. Your mind is talking to you and it is saying, wow, I know everything. You look at the question paper and you say you know everything. You will never find a question that you think this was not there in our syllabus. Never it has happened. Even if it happens, you need not worry. Why? Public teacher Ramnath will take it. That day it will be in news. SSLC ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇಂದ ಆಚೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೇಳಲಾಗಿದೆ. Education Minister, what will you do? And the Education Minister will promise 10 marks grace. He will take care. But for you, it has never happened in your 8th or 9th or 10th. You look at a paper and you felt it is out of the syllabus. It has never happened that it was out of the syllabus. But when the paper and a pen is given and they are asking you to write, you pick up the pen and when you are writing, you are not able to recollect. Those who are able to recollect 100%, they score 100%. Those who are only able to recollect 80%, they score 80%. Those who are only able to recollect 50%, they score 50%. Those who are only able to recollect 30%, they only write 30% and they fail. Why this difference? Because you forgot. Is forgetting a bless or a curse? Forgetting sometimes is blessing, but forgetting in the exam hall is a curse. Why do I say sometimes it is a blessing? I relate this story. An 8-year-old girl, she had come and she had gone into depression. So my friend called, you also come, let me talk to this counseling patient, that is what he calls everybody who comes up to him. As he was talking to the parents told, my daughter is very attached to her grandmother. She is so attached to her grandmother, she used to spend the entire day with her grandmother. As soon as she gets up, not getting up, she sleeps along with the grandmother. As soon as she gets up, the first thing what she does is wishing her grandmother who is next to her. And while bath, grandmother gives her a bath. Breakfast, grandmother feeds her. Everything she's been doing with her grandmother, now all of a sudden, because grandmother passed away because of cancer, she is not able to handle our grandmother not being with her. She stopped eating, she stopped sleeping, she stopped studying, she's not interested in going to school. Now she says she wants to just sleep. This has become a big problem and they had gone to the counselor. You know what the counselor advised? Your daughter should forget your grandmother. We are talking about why do we forget. There, the counselor is giving an advice. Your daughter should forget. Now, what should I do so that my daughter forgets the grandmother? Does your daughter seek for grandmother when she is in the school? No, she is not. Where will she seek the grandmother? As soon as she comes back home, she will see. Okay. When you guys have gone somewhere for a visit or a trip, do you think she's attached to grandmother so much that she will miss her? No. In that new place, she never misses. But once she comes back, she gets attached so much, she will start missing her. And that is what is happening. He says the home is going to be a actually trigger point because of the memories that she has along with her grandmother. Pick her to a new place where no vision, no audio of the grandmother will just pass. When these words were told, they had to shift to a new place where our grandmother's no photo was kept and none of them spoke about the grandmother. It was a new environment. After 6 months to 1 year, she became okay. Immediately after that, the same counselor, he had one more counseling session. What was the counseling session? There was this 8th standard student who used to study from morning till evening, whole night, sometimes till 12 o'clock, sometimes get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock and study. But somehow in all the tests and the exams, our performance used to be 70% only. She could not get anything more than that. On the other side, there was a neighbor who studied very little, but she got out in all the subjects or most of the subjects, or between 95 to 100. This was bothering her. This created an inferiority complex in her, and she was completely out of box and she wanted a counseling. So she had come and I was also there. When he asked her, what is your procedure of studying? These were the words that she was asked. She told, I actually study sitting on the chair and table, taking information, putting it into the memory. So how much time do you spend? My entire time I keep doing the same thing. Then she says, don't you think you are doing a wrong way of studies? In exam, what do you do? All of you should ask this question. What do you exactly do in exam? Do you take information here and put it here? No. In exam, you will take information from your mind, put it in the paper. So when you are taking information from the mind and putting it in your paper, what practice should be done more? Taking information, putting it here, taking information, putting it here should be practiced more rather than taking information and putting it here. That means your way of studying to the exam is quite different. The Olympians were given the same environment of what Olympics final game would happen in the practice session so that the Olympic will happen beautifully, and that is how you should also practice. Pick up a chair of your height, pick up a table of your height which you use in your schools and colleges, and you should make maximum attempt of writing and writing and writing and writing. That can fetch you good marks. Because in the exam, you take information from here and put it onto the paper. That is what has to be practiced more. But you are doing the other kind of a practice. So let me tell you, he gave an advice how your reading should be. Do you want to know how your studies should be? Your studies should be, how many 20 minutes are there in 1 hour? 3 20 minutes. Okay? How many 20 minutes in 1 hour? 3 20 minutes. We will divide it. The first 20 minutes, the middle 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes. Can you repeat? The first 20 minutes, the middle 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes, whenever you are studying anything, the first 20 minutes, you are opening your notes, you are opening your textbook, you are reading, you are taking information, put it here. Every time you take information and put it here, put a question to what you have studied. One question has to be written. After the 20 minutes, close the book. Verbally try to repeat it. Verbally. What was the question? You write Archimedes principle. You like to recollect. Archimedes principle stands to the process of the total density of the object and the water in place. You are studying. You are not getting, go refer. It's okay. This is verbal repetition, middle 20 minutes. And the last 20 minutes, you have the same questions. Close the book, close the notes, put it into the rack. Now, take a paper, exactly the paper what you use in the exam. Long, ruled paper. Start writing. The last 20 minutes, write. Even if you forget, push your mind to remember. Push your mind to remember. He can remember. And slowly you will recollect, you will write. You will recollect, you will write. But if you forget, it's okay. Whatever you have scored is your score. You start again fresh next 1 hour. The first 20 minutes, take information, put it here. The next 20 minutes, take information from here. Do a verbal recollect. The last 20 minutes, close the book, close the rack, put it into the shelf. You keep writing. This is called a smart study. So what will you do first 20 minutes? Take information, put it into your memory. 3 times. Take information, put it into the memory. Use your right hand. Take information, put it into your memory. Take information, put it into the memory. Do it. Take information, put it into your memory. Some of your hands are not coming. You should be very active, dynamic, then only it works. The second, close the book, answer the question verbally. Again, close the book, answer the question verbally. Again, close the book, answer the question verbally. Again, close the book, answer the question verbally. This is verbally answering the question. And the last 20 minutes, close the book, close the notes, put it into the rack, and with the questions on your right side like a question paper, simply write the answer. Practice writing faster, practice writing neatly, practice writing accurately, 100% what you have studied. Okay, so the last 20 minutes, repeat, the last 20 minutes, close the book, close the notes, put it into the rack, take a paper and pen, and start writing answers to the questions which you have already created while you were studying. Whenever you study, create a questionnaire and keep it on the right. What am I studying? Put a question. What am I studying? Put a question. The first 20 minutes. The same questions verbally answering in the middle 20 minutes and writing and answering in the last 20 minutes. What's the time now? What's the time? My watch is stopped at 10:20. Okay. We started at 9. 10:20. We have still 40 minutes. Okay. Now, why do we forget? We will try to understand. There is this great scientist. His name is Abingius. Can you repeat? Abingius. 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 Abingius is a great scientist who designed why do human mind forget things. You forget things because you have done less number of revision. Right now, I'll ask you few questions. Try to answer. 9 twos are 8 twos are 7 eights are 6 twos are 9 nines are perfectly it comes. Now I'll ask you few other things. 19 sixes are it won't come. Why? 18 sixes are it won't come. 14 nines are it won't come. Why? Because your revision from 11 ones are to 20 ones are has happened less number of times. But your revision and recollecting of 2 ones are to 9 ones are has happened infinite number of times. So why do we forget? This is the lessons. This is the number of days. Let me explain you why we actually forget. Today your teacher has done one particular lesson. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಲೆಸನ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟವಾದ ಲೆಸನ್ ನಾನು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಸಿ that the teacher has told 60 days from now I will give you a test, a target is fixed. Now how should you study? Today you come, you study. After the same day you study. After 10 days you should compulsorily do the first revision. From 10th day to 20 days and one more 20 days. After 20 days, you should do the third revision. After 50 days or 60 days, you should do the final revision. And then when you go to the exam, you will be able to answer perfectly. But what do? You don't do revision. You read now and you try to read on the day of the exam and go, or on the previous day of the exam and go. You will not be able to recollect 100%. You will only recollect 80, 90, 50, 60%. That is where the problem is arising. So what should you do? The more revision you do, the more perfectly you understand. This is called as Abingius forgetting curve. So today we learned about Abingius forgetting curve. 3 times. Repeat it. Abingius forgetting curve. Abingius forgetting curve. Abingius forgetting curve. What does Abingius say? If you don't want to forget, you should do multiple revision. Repeat. If you don't want to forget, you should do multiple revision. Again, if you don't want to forget, you should do multiple revision. Very important. How does this work? Let us understand. There are 3 kinds of memory. First one is sensory memory. What is sensory memory? Through our 5 sensory organs, whatever information goes, this is the sensory memory. It stays in one place. That is through the sensory memory. The next is short-term memory. After it goes through the sensory memory, if you do a little bit of repetition, it will go to short-term memory. And when you do elaborate revision, it will go to long-term memory or permanent memory. Right now, from 2 ones to 9 ones or from 1 ones to 10 ones, your memory is too perfect because you have done infinite elaborate rehearsal. For years together you have done, so you will not forget. But the same is not true from 19 ones to 20 ones because elaborate rehearsal has not happened. Look at the color changes, you will understand. Information retrieval in the exam, in the interview or viva. From the environment, your teacher explained a particular subject. Through the sensory memory it is going. Pay attention, write down notes and do a little bit of rehearsal so that it will come here. But if you don't do multiple revision, it won't stay here. You need to do multiple revision. When you do elaborate rehearsal, then what happens? It will go to long-term memory. From there, whenever you need a information retrieval, it will come back to short-term memory and you can recollect in the exam, in the interview, in the Viva. So the only solution not to forget is use multiple revisions. And can you use certain other tricks also? ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಮರಿಬಾರದು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಜ್ಜಿನ ಮರಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ the doctor advice, you should not give any such audio or visual information which will distract her and make her remember her grandmother. But ಅದೇ advice ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, for the 9th standard student ಗೆ, you should keep your notes stuck in every place at your home. Important informations or important points in every place, so that you see it multiple times and your memory is able to actually automatically do what is called as revision on the back end. That's the reason when you get into a school environment, all important experiments chart would be put so that as you are walking the corridor, when you are getting into the lab, when you are coming out of the lab, you are seeing it multiple times. You multiple times as a note again, it hits your memory and you are able to recollect, and that way your memory is automatically doing the revision during your spare time. So when you do multiple revision, it will go to something called as permanent memory and you will not forget. You can also use cue cards and other ways if time permits. I'll try to speak about that. This is what I was saying: sensory memory, short-term memory, long-term memory. Now, what is your studying style? A very important slide. See, all of us are not the same. All of us are different. All of our study patterns are also different. Our studying style is completely different compared to my brother's studying style. Though we are brothers, his style is different, my style is different. The way my mind and body works and his mind and body works will always be different. There are three kinds of studies that actually students follow. One is visual study. Visual study, a student will just look at the teacher, what she explains. He sees the formula, he sees the point, he looks at the teacher, what she is explaining, and he understands. These are called as visual students. And there is a second set, auditory. These are the students who need to listen to the teacher again and again. They should open the book, read it again and again. The voice should get into their ears multiple times again and again. When this happens, they will be automatically able to recollect. These are called as auditory people. And there is a third set who are kinesthetic. These are a little slow learners. When they visually see, when auditory happens, they still don't follow. They should go home, write it multiple times. Only when they write it multiple times, it gets into your head. I am a kinesthetic. I always write and practice and actually get it. So ask yourself, what is your study style? If you are this and if you are following this, it will not work. This is what the counselor told. If you are an auditory, then follow this. If you are a visual, then follow this. If you are a kinesthetic, then follow this. But still, these two people also can use this. It works. But sometimes if it is too time consuming, you don't want to, you are able to observe things and memorize verbatim without even writing, I will not say no. But it is not always true. So what do we say? We always make this statement irrespective of whatever you are. Of course, you should. When we talk about visual, they see your books, look into your notes, watch the book, study silently, and definitely avoid group studies. This is for visual students. Auditory students, read loud, record your own reading, put it in a headphone, keep listening to your own recording, because automatically the vision will be happening. One song, if you listen multiple times, you can verbatim repeat that song. The notes that you have read, if you put in a headphone and keep listening to it multiple times, you can verbatim repeat whatever is going there, because it is automatically creating a revision. So that is we call it as auditory. Listen to your teacher, take up group studies, take up turns to read, it works. Those who are kinesthetic, though it is laborious, you can't help it, write and practice, but you should avoid group studies, and studying without distraction is important for you. One such heavily kinesthetic student was Thomas Alva Edison. All of you are blessed. How many of you could not speak at the age of 5? Most of you would have started speaking by the age of 3 only. Moorne Varshakella complete, you were able to speak. But there was this Thomas Alva Edison who could not even utter sounds when he was at the age of 5, when you could speak at least 2 languages, Kannada, Tamil, or Tamil, Telugu, depending on where you live. Thomas Alva Edison could not utter sounds. When Thomas Alva Edison was taken to the school, the teacher who was interviewing him, she wanted to find out whether he is comfortable and she can accommodate him in the school. But she spoke to the teacher and told, mother and told, ma'am, I think your son cannot be accommodated because he has to speak. If he doesn't speak, he will be finding it difficult to understand. I think we will have to talk to the principal. The mother goes up to the principal and she asks, and the principal tells the same, no, it will be difficult for him also, it will be difficult for the teachers. You can do like this, you take 1 year, you come after 1 year, we will see if we can do the needful. The mother waits for 1 full year and takes the Thomas once again after 1 year, but he was not up to the mark. He was able to only speak words, he was not able to frame sentences. The principal again told, come next year. And again he was taken next year, though he was at the age of 7, he was put into a class of 5 years, a little less. But still, he was not up to the mark. But the principal gave a conditional admission telling, ma'am, I would definitely give an admission to your son. Because you have been coming year after year, which will be a conditional admission. Let him start his classes. If at all he is not able to cope up, we will ask him to discontinue. If this condition is okay, I will take him. Mother wanted somehow for his son to go to school. Because she knew he is little slow in learning, very, very slow in learning. He is very much a kinesthetic student. So what she did, okay, she waited for 2 years, 1 more year, and after that, when the admission was given, that to a conditional admission, she was happy. She used to drop him to school, and Thomas used to go back from school to home on his own because his mom used to work and she used to come a little later than the school leaves, and this routine followed. Because he was initially 1st to 5th standard, it was half a day classes for them, and Thomas was very happy going to school, but somehow Thomas knew that when all his friends could observe things very fast, he could not, because he was a slow learner. He learned even speaking after 3-4 years than normal students. Some of the teachers felt it is very, very difficult. This is a challenge for the teachers also. Sometimes you will find a student like Thomas, but don't underestimate, because if this boy, if you would have been underestimated, today we wouldn't have enjoyed computers at all. Because his bulb was the initiation to what computers are today. A bulb is on, it is called as signal 1. That is 1. If the bulb is off, it is called as signal 0. That is 0. And that 0 and 1 gave rise to computers today. And that happened because of that Thomas Alva Edison. It so happened that after 1 month, all the teachers came up to the principal and told, sir, very, very difficult to accommodate Thomas. He's not able to follow. Please, I think you should send him to some special school. He's very, very slow learner. These were the words the teachers told to the principal. The principal was in an helpless state. Principal calls Thomas, and Thomas comes walking to the principal's door, and he wishes, good morning, sir. And the principal wishes him back, good morning, Thomas. Thomas, you did not come from tomorrow. Why, sir? Can I speak to your mom? What time is your mom coming? No, my mom comes in the evening only. Okay, I'll write a letter and give it to you. In that I've written why you cannot be accommodated in this school. I cannot make you understand. I think you cannot read, give it to your mom, she will read and understand. Sir, I want to come from tomorrow. You cannot. I have written the reason in the letter, you will understand it. You ask your mom, she will make you understand. Thomas takes that letter and he comes back home crying, and he's waiting for his mom to return. When his mom returns, he hands over the letter because he tried opening the letter and he tried reading, he could not understand because he was very weak in joining letters and reading it as a word. He could read it as letters. To, D, O. the PhD, the parent, he could read, he could not understand. That was the condition of what Thomas is. Ask yourself, were you in that condition when you started your academics? Not. You are already in a better place. You are already in the best place. From there reaching the target, you should not actually look at convenience. You should live life out of convenience, where you should feel proud about yourself. Thomas was so proud about going to the school when the school said they cannot accommodate it. Most of you would have jumped out of joy. Narendra, I cannot go to school, I did not go to school, I'll be happy. Thomas was not, he was crying. Mother opens the letter and she was shattered because he's asking, read the letter to me, read the letter to me, read the letter to me. And mother knew that if she reads the letter, he can understand. But still, mother had to read the letter and she reads. My son, I always used to say, you're not an ordinary student, you're a genius student. That is what your principal writes. He says, a genius student like you should not be put into a normal school like that. That's the reason I was teaching you at home. And he also says, teach him at home, he can do miracles. And that belief of that mother became true, and Thomas did miracles, though he was a slow learner. Ask yourself this question, when you are a fast learner, what use is your life if you live and die like this? What use is your life when you live and die, when you are not mentally retarded, when you are not a slow learner, still you are not able to reach 90-95%? A question that should be asked to yourself. Is my life fruitful enough with the way I am living it? Am I being a dushman of myself, not allowing myself to work harder? Or am I being a dost to myself, taking all the risks, taking all the pain and preparing for the future? Thomas had only one inclination, he had to make a difference. And mother reads the letter like this, very loudly, proudly she reads to the parent of Thomas Alva Edison. My son, I am reading the letter, understand. To the parent of Thomas Alva Edison. Your son is a genius student like him should not be accommodated with normal students so that his learning deprives. So, put him into a school where genius students are handled so that some learning will definitely happen. Genius learning shall happen. We wish him all the best. Yours respectfully and the principal's name and signature, and she shows this is what is written in the letter. My son, your genius. I repeat, my son, your genius, your genius, your genius. After the letter is read, Thomas was so confident and he told, did the principal say I am genius? Yes, that is what is written in the letter. And then there was no looking back. Mother prepares a small experimental place where he had to learn doing experiments. He had to learn doing experiments. He kept on doing experiments, kept on doing experiments, learning, kept on doing experiments, learning. And by the age of 20-25, he had already done multiple inventions. They were well off. They were living in a small hut. Now, a shifting had to happen from the hut to a new place. When the people, helpers had come to shift the place, they found there was one trunk hidden deep inside the ground and there was a plank kept on. Thomas was surprised. What is this inside? And when he opened, he found his trunk, his favorite trunk, which he was using when his principal actually asked him not to come from tomorrow. That trunk was lost. That is what his mother told. Now he was very curious and he shouted, Mom, I found the trunk! Mom, I found the trunk! And he opens the trunk, he sees all his uniforms, he opens the uniform, he sees his shoes that he was wearing, the toys that he was playing. Looking at all that, he is so happy, there is tears in his eyes because he was recollecting his school days. And then he finds that letter. And he knew it is the same letter because he had tried reading the letter, he could not. And now he sees the letter, he opens the letter, and as he is about to read, he is completely devastated, he is surprised, he is with tears. He goes up to his mom and he falls on the feet of his mom and says, Mom, thank you for making a Thomas Alva Edison out of me. Mom was confused. What do you mean? Mom, I found the letter. Mother says, I had told you not to use that letter. Why did you open that letter? Mother is shouting at him, but the son very confidently says, Mom, today I can say I am the Thomas Alva Edison, the school chase me because of this letter. Thank you once again, Mom, for making me Thomas Alva Edison. Mom, I will read the letter as it is now. And he reads the letter, and the letter starts something like this. To the parent of Thomas Alva Edison, your son, what the mom had read is a genius student name. Actually, it was written, your son is a slow learner. A slow learner like your son cannot be accommodated with normal students. But the mother reads it as a genius student like you cannot be accommodated in normal school like us. Because he is slow learner, he will not be able to learn anything with these normal students. But it was read by mother, because he is a genius student, he cannot learn like others in this normal school. He needs to be put into a school which handles genius student. No, he should be put into a school which handles slow and mentally little retarded students. And that is where Thomas Alva belongs. And the letter she reads it as, where geniuses are taught, and that is where your genius son belongs. So much of confidence was imbibed on Thomas, and Thomas, who was a slow learner, that day decides, I am a genius, I will live a life out of genius, and I will die a life out of genius. And that day he lived a genius life, and he really was successful. He had given 1,500 inventions. Each and every one of you sitting here, you should ask this serious question to yourself. What am I? What am I if I have all these capabilities? I have such a beautiful school which is helping me. I have so many great ex-students who have scored 10%. If I am sitting in this hall, I should have a target nothing less than 10%. Otherwise, I am not actually living a fruitful life. This question should be directly asked, and from today, you should make a serious attempt. I am not the same person before this class and after this class. The class has alerted me. A Jambuvanta has gone up to Hanumanta and told, Hanumanta, what are you telling? You are looking for people who can fly. You are capable of flying. All of us were capable of that, what we call infinite strength that was there in us. But because of the curse of Indra, Hanumanta forgot his strength. And Indra told, until and unless somebody comes and alerts you about your strength, you will forget what your strength is. That is what happened to each and every one of us here. A Chandragupta was picked up from the street and he was not made a king. He was made an emperor. And that belief system was poured onto that young boy who was playing marble in the street, and he is respected today as the greatest teacher the world has seen, and the world is teaching the personality development lessons of what Chanakya taught Chandragupta Maurya. Picking up an ordinary boy, not making him a king, making him the king of kings, that is emperor, that is your capabilities. God has given you that among these capabilities in you. If you believe, you shall get it. If you don't believe, you shall not get it. Those who believed have got what they have got. Those who did not believe did not get what they got. Ask yourselves today, what is your belief system right now sitting here? A chaiwala becomes a prime minister, a tribal woman becomes a president, a fisherman's son becomes a greatest scientist, and this mentally retarded Thomas Alva Edison becomes the greatest scientist with 1,500 inventions. I am much more capable of all of these people. Where should I reach? That question has to be strongly asked, and from today you should promise, I shall live my life day in, day out of conviction. Nothing less, nothing more. You don't know the greatest gifts what has been poured on you. We will wind up in another 10 minutes. There is one such portion which I was supposed to do. The guys, most of the time, what happens whenever you are trying to study or whenever you are trying to focus, you may get out of focus because you need a little bit of pranayam in order to help you to get focus. I have told you the place discipline of studies. You cannot study very close to the kitchen. You cannot study where there is more sound. You cannot study where there is a smell, because your sensory organs will consistently keep sending inputs. When these inputs keep coming to your brain, you will find it difficult to concentrate and focus. That is where we say, if you can hold on to the 5 sensory organs before you could start to study and say, hold me on, you are holding them and telling, you will do only what I am asking you to do. Right now you shall focus on studies. It will automatically try and focus on your studies. For that one beautiful asana, what we teach, that is Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama. Can you repeat it 3 times? Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama. Once again, Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama. Once again, Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama. Brahmari is a black bee. Tumba tappa irtakkanta one bee which creates an humming sound. This is called as vibration. Vibration is considered to be the highest level of energy which can break open anything. It will be very surprising. Once as I was not a kid, even as a grown-up 8th, 9th standard student, I wanted to see a drilling machine which drills hole into the roads. I went up to one such drilling machine and I thought he's going to drill and he will have a very pointed object which will be as pointed as a needle and he will be drilling the hole. When I went there, the object was very blunt and it was trying to drill. I even went up to the driver and asked, Uncle, adana sharp madbittu tane neeva press madbeku, I told. Then he told, we are not digging out of object which is sharp and trying to create a small breakage there. We are using a vibration technique and creating a highest vibration which will clear a path of more than 10 feet by 10 feet. That is the capabilities of vibration. When he told that, I was confused. Now also when you see a drilling machine, it will be a blunt object but it creates a vibration which is so powerful that vibration given for few seconds, it will clear the path of at least 4 feet by 4 feet. And then when you dig, all the soil are already loosened up in course. The same vibration has to be created from your mind to your spinal cord so that your mind is relaxed and when you are studying it should get in. So we practice what is called as Brahmari and Pranayama. What is Pranayama? Prana means it is life. So we say air what we breathe in is our life. As somebody is walking, he feels unconscious and if he falls down, what do? Hey, find out whether he is alive. Immediately what you will say? You will take a finger, put it in front of his nose and you will say, yeah, that means he is alive. That means our breath is our prana. During the COVID time, people did not die because of the virus. People died because they were not able to consume more oxygen which could give them more immunity and help them to fight against the virus. We were used to what is called as shallow breathing. What is shallow breathing? I inhale, I immediately exhale. That way what happens, when I inhale and immediately exhale, the oxygen, that is the air which is getting inside, the lungs are not given equal time to absorb enough oxygen. Because the more oxygen it absorbs, more energetic the body becomes. That's the reason when anybody falls asleep or in that asleep, if they have felt unconscious, immediately they will say, take to the hospital. Hospital will immediately put him onto an oxygen mask. Why? When oxygen is given directly, more oxygen consumption which happens deep. You have never seen a patient, he is not doing like that. There is a small mask, he is going deep inhale, deep exhale, because the mask is automatically doing that deep inhale and deep exhale. So what happens when you inhale very slowly and hold your breath as long as possible and trying to exhale very slowly, you are giving enough room for the oxygen content to be absorbed by the lungs and that energy is supplied, that prana is supplied to the entire path of your bloodstream to all the bodies and to the mind also. So we practice the Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama. It will another for 5 to 7 minutes we will complete. First we would be doing 5 rounds of Brahmari Pranayama. What is Brahmari Pranayama? While you guys are sitting, as you are sitting, you will have to come a little forward. Give me the chair, one of you. Quick. Okay, now, see all of you are sitting, but your back is not straight. It is bent because you are leaning back. What you will have to do, gently move forward Gently move forward and let your foot be 90 degree. Your knee cap 90 degree, your foot and your heel 90 degree, and this also 90 degree. You should not lean backwards. Come towards the edge of the chair. Edge of the chair. So don't move the chair. Let the chair be in the same position. You come towards the edge. Keep your hands free. If you are keeping the book, you can keep it under your chair so that you are comfortable. The first would be keep your palms facing the sky. And then you will have to do Brahmari 5 rounds. What is Brahmari? I will just show you. Inhale. But you will be doing closing your eyes when I say this is 5 rounds. Immediately after this, we will go for Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama, taking charge of our 5 sensory organs. So, open up your fingers. First, close your thumb. Close the ears with your thumb. Both hands. Then, index finger on your eyes. Those who are wearing spectacles, keep it in your pocket. Index finger on your eyes. Both the index fingers. Look at that. Middle finger on both the nostrils. On the side of the nostrils. Yellow will not put on the side of the nostrils. And ring finger on the upper lip, little finger on the lower lip. Onesati Madi, look at the picture. Inonsati Madi, look at the picture. Most of you have got right. Okay, most of you are keeping on your eyebrow, not on an eyebrow, on your eyes. Hello, Onesati check whether you are doing it right. This is, first I am taking control of the sound which is getting inside. I am closing my ears and I am saying, I will not listen to anything else except my own heartbeat or my own breathing, whatever that sound that I am able to get. By closing my eyes, I am telling I am not going to see anything, I am going to be with myself. By keeping my hands on the nostrils, that is my middle finger, I am asking it not to smell anything. Once I press a little, it will not try to smell anything. I have taken charge of smelling sensory organ and I am saying you will not smell anything. And then on my upper lip I keep and when I gently press while I am exhaling, I am telling him not to taste anything except the saliva. Saliva is tasteless, at least for time being. If you have not brushed your teeth, that's a different story. If yesterday's chicken kebab is still there, somewhere stuck, and if it is giving you some pleasure, I don't know. But usually saliva will not taste anything. And then by gently pressing myself, that feeling of touch I am saying, I am touching myself, I am with myself, nobody else is involved in me. Slowly my 5th sensory organ also will be under my control. Now while you are doing this, ma'am, look at me. Now inhale. While you inhale, keep your nostrils open. While you are exhaling only, that will be for 5 rounds. First one is Brahmari Pranayama for 5 rounds. Second one will be Shanmukhi Brahmari Pranayama for 5 rounds. After that, you will come to Dhyana Mudra. Your index finger and your thumb touching at the tip of the toe. Your all 3 other fingers straight and you should keep it on your thighs like this. After you complete this without opening your eyes, come to Dhyana Mudra, both the hands, and then keep your back straight. Just lift your head 30 degrees so that you are looking at the sky. Try to focus between your 2 eyebrows. All this you will do in one sequence as I instruct you, and do not open your eyes until and unless I ask you to open your eyes. I will do a little bit of these 5 rounds of Brahmari and the 5 rounds of Shanmukhi Brahmari, and then we will go into silence. I will be doing some introspection. I will be uttering few words. You will have to just listen. After I have completed that, we are trying to manifest, we are trying to create an inception in your subconscious mind, trying to put right kind of thoughts. And then I'll ask you, now gently rub your hands. When you rub your hands, you will generate sufficiently. And I will say, warm up. Means just create that warmness on your forehead, on your eyebrows, on your cheek and chin. And after that, I will be telling, now very, very slowly and gently, please open your eyes. Only after that, you will open your eyes. Are you with me? Okay. Now sit at the edge of the chair. First one is just Brahmari. Once you close your eyes now, you will not open until I ask you to open. Is that clear? Close your eyes now. Palms facing the sky. Listen to my instructions. Palm facing the sky. Palms on your knee. Keep your eyes closed. Why are you opening your eyes? Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. Inhale. Inhale. Last round. Inhale. Now closely, slowly go to Shanmukhi Brahmari. Your thumb should close your ears. Your thumb should close your ears. Your index finger on your eyes. Your middle finger on both the nostrils. And your ring finger on your upper lip. And your little finger on the lower lip. Now slowly inhale. And while you exhale, just tighten a little bit. Close your ears a little tightly. Press your eyes a little tightly. Press your nose a little tightly. Press your upper lip a little tightly. Press your lower lip a little tightly. Inhale. Last round, inhale. Slowly, without opening your eyes, bring your palms down. Go to Dhyana Mudra. Your thumb and your index finger pointed. The rest of the fingers straight. Your back straight. Slightly look at the sky 30 degrees. Try to focus between your two eyebrows. Try to focus between your two eyebrows. Just listen to what I say. Oh great God, oh great God, thank you so much, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this human birth. I know I could have been born as an insect. I could have been born as an animal. I could have been born as a bird. I could have been born as a worm, a bug, a fish. Thank you so much. You have chosen me to be born as human. I am so thankful, oh God. Oh God, I don't have words to express how much thankful I am for giving this Manushya Janma, Bahushreshta Varga Janma. Eldrigu Sigodila, the Manushya Janma. Thank you so much, oh God. Oh God, thank you so much for such a loving and caring parent. I know there are a lot of orphans. Either they don't have one of the parents or both the parents. How they would have lived their life. I am so happy I am a loving father. I am so happy I am such a loving mother. Thank you so much, oh God. Oh God, thank you so much that I can see. I know there are a lot of blind kids who have done their 10th standard and scored 10%.
I have such beautiful eyes, I am not blind. I think I should do a miracle. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Keep your eyes closed. Thank you so much. Oh God, thank you so much. I am not deaf, I am not dumb. I can hear, I can speak. Thank you so much for that, oh God. I know there are a lot of deaf and dumb kids, there are a lot of deaf and dumb mothers, there are a lot of deaf and dumb fathers. How they would have made old age, how they would have made their end age, how they would have studied. I know a lot of deaf and dumbs who have written 10th standard exam and they have scored 100%. I'm aware of it. I did. I'm not deaf, I'm not dumb, I'm not blind, I'm not an orphan. I think I should be able to do miracle. Oh God, thank you for this beautiful mind. I am smart. If I wouldn't have been smart, I think I would have studied till now. And the school wouldn't have given me admission if I would have been as slow as Thomas Alva Edison. I'm not telling this because I am feeling bad for Thomas Alva Edison. I'm uttering these words because I'm feeling bad about myself. Though I am so smart, why am I so fearful? I think, oh God, from today I will not be that fearful person. I'll put all my efforts to work towards the goal what I have in my life. I know I'm not born to be ordinary, I'm born to be extraordinary, and realize that. From today, I will put all my energy, all my time on the most important duties of my life. That is right now my 10th standard exam. I'll keep working on it so that I score 100% in all the subjects. Thank you so much, oh God. Thank you so much. Oh God, thank you so much for such an healthy body. I wouldn't have realized how healthy I was until I visited this cancer hospital where I wanted a permission to celebrate a new year, and my visit was in the month of October. I asked the doctor because that kids ward had 10 patients. I wanted to give them a small gift with their name embroidered in the gift. When I went and spoke to the doctor looked at me and he told, I think you will not be able to embroider their names because none of them, I know none of them would be here by Jan because they are in the last stage of cancer. Most of them are only few days. That is when I realized how much healthy, how much blessed I am. I have such an healthy body, I have such an healthy baby. I'm not being cursed by cancer. Looking at those 11-year, 12-year, 13-year-old kids, younger ones who are suffering from cancer, and each of them know they cannot live for a few more years, and they are actually putting all their efforts to live every day, one more day each. Now, when I am blessed with so much of good health, I think it's my responsibility to God. I should work towards building my career. I do not want to die ordinary. If a child could become a prime minister, if a tribal could become a president, if a fisherman's son could become a greater scientist, and if a mentally slow Thomas Alva Edison could do 1,000 factor invention, what am I looking for? My incapabilities. I am much more stronger, much more smarter, much more better than any of these people. I know I am destined to do miracles in this life, and that miracle will start the way I take up this 10th standard exam, which I am going to face shortly, or 1 year down the line, or 2 years down the line. Thank you once again, O God, for all the beautiful things that you have given. Thank you so much, O God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, O God. Thank you so much. Now slowly rub your palms. Slowly rub your palms to generate sufficient heat. And gently rub on your forehead, on your eyebrow, on your eyes, on both the sides of your nose to the upper part of the chin, upper part of the chin, and the chin. And very, very slowly, gently, please open your eyes. Very, very slowly and gently, please open your eyes. Keep this energy with you. It will be introspecting in the subconscious state. Today while you sleep, I will come in your dreams. Your sir is already coming in your dreams. I will be next to him. Sir will be saying, why are you not waking up at 4 o'clock? I will be shouting, why are you not open up at 4 o'clock? And tomorrow, at least 50% of you will wake up at 4 or 5. I am very sure. But the rest 50% will simply watch others get up and their life will remain what it was. And they will die with whatever they are. If you want to become something else, start making the right choices. Thank you, love you all so much. It was nice addressing such a beautiful and quiet crowd. Love you all so much. Thank you, sir. The video will be shared, and anytime if you feel your energy is down, you can listen to it. It will give you a little bit of motivation. Thank you very much, sir.
Once again, a nice session, a very good session. So, from now on, it is not only just listening to it, following His word. Sir said, we are all blessed with everything, right? We are all blessed with everything. God has given you good health, good parents, good teachers, good school, everything. Now it is up to you people how you are going to take forward. You can be a normal person as it is. Many a times when we see the students who will be average, they will be excellent, they will be outsmart. When you see after 7 years from now. So each of you have that ability. How you are going to take forward, that is with you. We want to see more people in different fields. It can be a doctor, it can be an engineer, it can be a UPS, IAS officer, or a KS officer, or an IRS officer, any fields. But you put in your 100% efforts. Sir was saying about Modi ji itself. Only 3 hours of sleep. All of us have a tendency to sleep more. When people go to bed, get away from the distractions. Stay away from the distractions. Definitely you all can do wonders. Now, sir, made me to remember of my guru, Acharya, K.B. Acharya, who was my professor in master degree. He used to get up the same around 3 o'clock, and his day used to start at 3 o'clock. He used to read books. And when he used to come down till the evening, 3:30, 4 o'clock, class used to get down, close down. His face used to have such a charm. I'm remembering that what he was doing early morning. And one more thing, when it's possible for our body to get up early in the morning, guys, when we go to bed on the right time. The tendency of it, we go to bed again with a lot of distractions, with other things comes in between, and we're not able to sleep. So keep a time, regular time, 10 o'clock bed. Morning you can get up early. And each of you have a different tendency. Some will say, sir, I can go to bed late, sir, but getting up morning is difficult. Different people. But sir said that silence is available only in the early morning. And also that positive energy is there early in the morning. I think you know about Brahmin Murta. ಯಾವುದೇ ಮನೆಗೆ ಪ್ರವೇಶ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ early morning ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So ಅದನ್ನೇ Brahmin Murta. One more thing. Sir, son has got a IIT seat. He is studying in Kharagpur. IIT seat ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್? ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ IIT Kharagpur. ನೋಡ್ರಾ? ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರ? ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಓದಬೇಕು, ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಓದಬೇಕು. ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, HM ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಇವಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ಇವಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಆ ಇವಿಂಗ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಿವಿ ಬಾಯಿ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಅದು ತೊಗೊಂಡೋದ್ರೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ. Okay. Shall I give them to speak? Anybody wants to? Shall I give sir? Yes sir. Anybody wants to speak about the program, how you felt? You can come voluntarily.
Come forward.
It's not a force. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So once again, usually when sir used to take class, I used to just get in for some time and used to come out. Today I thought myself I have to be here. So I was like selfish. 2-3 bucks used to come down. I went there, 10:30, after 10:30 is Rahul Kalam, Puja, Saraswati Puja. I got down there, but without sir's knowledge, I recorded what all sir had said. I recorded all this because students, you should also record it here, not here, not with the phone. When you record it here, that will be there permanently with you. Alva? So ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಹೇಳಿರೋದನ್ನ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ದೂರದಿಂದ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಲ್ಸನ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್. ವಿಲ್ಸನ್ ಗಾರ್ಡನ್ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ 8:45 ಸರ್ ನಾನು 8:15 ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. 8 ಗಂಟೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ ಎದ್ದೋದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕೈಲಿ ಸರ್ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅದು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಪಂಕ್ಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಓದಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಇರಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಖಂಡಿತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ 100% ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Once again, a big round of applause to So thank you very much. It was definitely a very good session. I am sure that not only our PhD students, our SSLC students also will perform very well. And you can see these students' photos next session will be coming down on the banner. Okay? Thank you, students. Thank you, sir.
I take this opportunity to wholeheartedly thank Mallikarjuna sir for enlightening the students how important and present their focus, and that focus session very clearly, step by step, by giving various examples. Sir, we have enlightened our students. Surely the students, even till the moment till morning 8:15, 8:30, however might be their mindset would have been, surely I think they would have changed by this time, and they will continue as per the instructions suggested and motivation that you have guided the students. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Very blessed morning to one and all present here. Of course, today is really blessed by the God all of us, because Sir gave us such a wonderful, valuable speech to us. At first, my sincere thanks to our chairman, sir, who is absent in his absence, to give this opportunity to all of us. Then our guest, our motivator, Mallikarjuna sir. My sincere thanks to you, sir. You gave a lot of examples in very valuable information you gave, which is very rare to get all this. I don't think we crossed 2 hours, but I felt it is half an hour. We also gave so many information, sir, from bottom of my heart. My sincere thanks to you. Your support we need continuously for our students, and continue your service in other places also to make all the young generation thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And my sincere thanks to the person who always thinking about the students' future, even in his dream, even in his sleep. It is none other than our managing director, sir.
See, educational institutes run business-minded, educational institutes run dil se, you will find rarest of the rare. I have been seeing sir from 15 years. The same place, I have 15 years old video which I have uploaded in YouTube, in my Facebook. If you are permitted, you can see. At that time also, sir, from now, every moment of his life, he is only thinking the welfare of all of them. Otherwise, there are
Thank you, sir, for your energetic support 24 hours to our students. Thank you so much, sir. My sincere thanks to our HM to be always guiding, supporting all of us. Thank you, ma'am. And my final thanks to all the students. You really cooperated very well today. And I hope you all take lots of information along with you. Definitely. So, from today onwards, from this moment onwards, your life has to be changed. By changing your habit, by changing the way you are approaching the problems, by the way you are speaking to the others. God has blessed Krishna Mena through Mallikarjuna sir in your life. So, thereafter, it should bring a very good positive way of changing in your life. All the best to you all. Thank you once again to all. Thank you.
That's